Hello guys, welcome to the channel, and today we are going to do an Andor review, or I'm going to do an Andor review. I was going to do an episode ranking, but I kind of ran out of time, and I don't really have the time to, so yeah. So before we get started, go check out my Stranger Things playlist right after, and maybe you can watch the whole video, because there's been some issues with that lately, but I don't know. So, also go check out my Star Wars playlist, and I'm going to set up a poll. Let me know which of the 4 Star Wars live action shows, Disney Plus, is your favorite. I'll set up a poll probably right when after I film this video, so yeah. Without further ado, let's get into this review. And I'm just gonna get off with my thoughts. I dug this show. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good one. I think there's some fantastic episodes, like episode 6, that whole heist episode is just one of the best things Star Wars has ever released. I thought it was amazing, very well staged, and just very well done. And overall, this show, I just dug it. There was just so many just amazing and well done things. There was really nothing that really frustrated me. Maybe the whole Mon Mothma plot line I didn't love as much compared to everything else, but overall, like, the Andor plot line, the arc that what he's trying to do, sort of, and he's trying to sort of go through this and get paid and whatever, and kind of everything started happening all around him, how he became this fugitive, how he's in this asylum at one point, and then what is he going to do after, and then how this rebellion sort of starts, and what was that call that set off this rebellion that led to a bunch of these imperial senators, like, sort of questioning everything, questioning the safety, and questioning. It's just very interesting, like, seeing how everything begins. Like, they've done a bunch of these prequels, like Kenobi, or prequels to New Hope, Rogue One, Kenobi, Solo, and Andor. But I think this one probably explains the most and does the best job at setting up where the rebellion started. Solo sort of did that with the some of those Marauder characters or whatever, but not really. So yeah, I really enjoyed that side of the show. Overall, I really enjoyed the show. There's just so many amazing things. I think the Andor character, I don't understand why everyone hated him so much in Rogue One. Like, I thought he was like he was alright. I mean, I don't think he was great, but overall, I thought he was a perfectly fine character. And then this one just made him like 10 times better, or just made him such a much more interesting character. The actor does a great job here. And also another thing to note, that Tony Gilroy, the guy that did the Bourne franchise, I really like at least the first 3 Bourne movies, and seeing his sort of style implanted here, like in episode 3, of that whole action sequence as they're trying to escape, and that whole thing is then plucked out right out of the Bourne Supremacy, that whole thing at the end of it, also Bourne Ultimatum. So yeah, I love all the Bourne like action sequences, especially that one's probably the most reminiscent of the Bourne series. And overall, I think that sort of style as like a spy thriller in Star Wars, I think, is very interesting. And it's just something different. Like, we got Kenobi, which I thought was just very underwhelming. It was fine, but like, really, it could have been so much better than it actually was. And it just turned out, it was like, okay, whatever. But then this, I thought it was nice to have something different. And I think the thing with a lot of these shows, between the two shows, 2 of them really worked for me and 2 of them didn't. When it comes to Mandalorian and Andor, these are characters that aren't really, like, known in Star Wars as much, so we don't really have much expectations. But when it comes to Kenobi and Boba Fett, we have, like, such high expectations of what they're gonna do. So, and then we got disappointed. And then here, because we had no expectations of what we were gonna see with Andor, it really surprised us, or at least me, and I was like, I really dug it. I thought it was great. I wasn't sure how good it was going to be, but the trailers looked good, so I was interested, and I checked it out. First couple episodes moved a little slow, but once you got to episode 3, things really kicked into motion and just got going. Now, there's a couple things I'm not a big fan of. First one, the whole Mon Mothma plotline. Whenever we kind of cut to her, that whole plotline with her child and whatever, I sort of saw what she was trying to do, but it just kind of bored me. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but that whole plotline just didn't interest me as much as, like, everything else, as, like, the heist plotline, or the asylum, and also I think the whole Ferrex plotline, I thought that was great as well. I'm talking about bad stuff, I guess. That whole plot is really the only thing I didn't really like that much. Also, I thought the whole conclusion was a little odd. The episode itself was really good. I love how they were fighting against the Empire. That whole thing really worked for me, but at the same time, I ended on sort of the right one note, as Andor is escaping. Ferrex is at war, like a civil war right now, between the Empire and everyone else, so That was well done, and I bet they're gonna do season 2. But it ended on the right note, but ended on a weird note at the same time. So I don't know, but you got some great episodes in there. 3, episode 6, episode 8, episode 9. I don't know, episode 10, 11, and 12. So yeah, just a bunch of great episodes. And episode 6 is one of the best things that Star Wars ever done. That whole heist sequence, it's just outstanding. I just loved every bit of it. The way it started out, the way it paid off in the end. Everything, how meticulously it was set up. It's like, this is like the whole like point of why you're watching the show, this whole heist sequence. And it just really worked for me. I don't know, that whole episode, I just loved it. And overall, yeah. So those are my thoughts on Andor. Let me know what you thought about this show in the comments below. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I don't like it as much as The Mandalorian because I just don't think it was as purely entertaining, as exciting as The Mandalorian. It's not really supposed to be. And I wish you got maybe some more like exciting action, some big action, but that's not really what the show is. And I wasn't really expecting that going into it. But it would have been nice to have some TIE fighter against X-Wing or whatever action you want to call it, whatever you want to call that. But all the small action sequence, all the gunfights were really well done, and overall, it's a very well handled show. And they did a great job. Star Wars is sort of bringing me back after 2 shows I didn't particularly care for. They brought me back. So yeah, let me know what you thought about in the comments below. I'm interested. Share your thoughts. Share your opinions on Book of Boba Fett and the other shows. I'm interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.